The USDJPY is sitting along the 154 price level and is poised for a huge move this week, especially if the Bank of Japan does one thing. Watch on, and I'll tell you what to look out for. But first, we need to understand where the yen was, where it has been, and then where it could be heading. At the start of the year in 2024, the USDJPY was trading along the 141 price level, after it had retraced from the high of 152 in 2023. This was due to weakness in the US dollar, as there was increasing speculation within the markets that the US Federal Reserve was likely to start cutting US interest rates by early 2024. But as the speculation waned, together with supporting economic data and comments from Chair Powell at the Federal Reserve, which indicated that not only will interest rate cuts be delayed to later in the year, it was also likely that there could be less rate cuts than initially anticipated. This saw a rapid strengthening of the US dollar, which in turn saw the USDJPY climb steadily to retest the previous high of 152 in March 2024. And even when the Bank of Japan ended their negative interest rate policy by hiking rates for the first time in 17 years on the 19th of March, they also abandoned their yield curve control and ended most of their asset purchases aimed at policy easing. There was little to no effect on strengthening the yen, as markets viewed that despite what was done, the policymakers lacked commitment to its path of monetary tightening. As such, the yen continued to weaken, with the USDJPY breaking through the 152 price level in April to record a new high of 160. Which led to BoJ intervening in the market twice in close succession, taking the USDJPY from 160 down to the 153 price point. But as usual, what we have seen from the previous currency interventions, the USDJPY bounced back to not only reclaim the previous high, but form new highs at 162. And again, when the USDJPY got to the 162 price level, the BoJ intervened once more to bring prices down to 158. Paired with the weakness of the US dollar due to the US CPI reaching 3% and increasing speculations that the Federal Reserve was ready to start cutting rates in September, the USDJPY broke the bullish trend line to continue trading lower. Now with the USDJPY trading along the 154 price level and with Japanese inflation at 2.9% year-on-year, together with core inflation at 2.6% having exceeded the BoJ's target, the debate is now on whether it is a suitable time for the policymakers to decide to raise rates at the meeting this Wednesday on 31st July. If the BoJ fails to raise rates, which is not impossible, given how the BoJ does have a tendency to disappoint markets, we could see the USDJPY form a strong base along the 154 price level. And if price bounces off this level, the USDJPY could retest the 157 price level. Or let's say the BoJ hikes rates but fails to provide good commitment or guidance on their path to further monetary policy tightening, we could see a repeat of what happened in March when they hiked rates, which is a continued weakness in the yen. So it might result in a similar move to if they didn't hike rates, where the USDJPY could form a strong support along the 154 price level to trade higher, with the 157 price level a target point. But like I said at the start of the video, the USDJPY is well poised for a big move if the BoJ does this one thing, which is to release a decision to hike rates, while providing future guidance on a path for more rate hikes. This could cause the USDJPY to break below this 154 support level. And if the BoJ were to also announce that it would significantly taper its current bond purchases policy, this could further reinforce strong intent and commitment along its quantitative tightening plan. So, with a combination of an interest rate hike, forward guidance, and a tapering of the current bond purchasing program, we would look for the USDJPY to not only break below the 154 support level, but also below the 152 price level. The 152 price level is crucial as it was not only the level where the BoJ intervened back in October 2022, but also where the price started reversing from in November 2023. Hence, if the price breaks below 152, the next key support level for the USDJPY would be a good 500 pips lower at the 147 price level. Remember, it's not just down to what the BoJ does, but also look for price reaction at the key levels. It is likely that we'll see higher volatility and increased liquidity during this news event. So please trade well and trade safe. If you found this information useful for your trading, Do like and subscribe and leave a comment below if you want to share your views.